guess the first thing I was going to ask you about with Greg was I was curious, roughly how old were you guys when you first met each other as kids? Do you remember at all? Or
We did camps really early on together, and I mean we didn't really know each other that well, but
yeah,
I mean over the years, like our relationship has grown, playing
Yeah.
against each other and being rivals in the North American Hockey League for a while. So
and I was curious, were you guys ever on the same team before this, or is this the first time you've ever been on the same team of any kind, like even in all-star type things? Or
this is the first time we've ever been on the same team
okay,
together.
yeah.
Yep.
I was curious too, like how has it changed, like your relationship now that you guys are with each other every day? I mean, did you, I don't think you probably hated each other, but I mean, do you find like things you had no idea about him that that you're on the same team kind of thing, or
We spend a lot of time during the summer because our
Yeah.
goalie coach and we know each other pretty well from that, and then
Yeah.
just being on the road together, like you learn a lot about each other. So
Oh yeah, I was gonna say a little bit about because you had mentioned the fact that you guys played on rival teams in juniors. I thought that was kind of
Yeah.
interesting. How big was that rivalry? Is it similar to like maybe a Clarkson St. Lawrence type game for your league, or
I haven't really experienced the Clarkson St. Lawrence rivalry yet, but
Yeah.
I mean it's pretty heated up there
Yeah.
in Fairbanks and Wenatchee, and I still remember the one time it was during warm-ups. I was stretching and Lewis looked at me and said he hopes that I have a really good game because he was feeling it today, and then he actually ended up beating us that game. So that was pretty funny.
How did you guys, like head-to-head wise? How did you guys get? I know it's not just the goalies that play, but how did you guys do against each other? Usually, like were you guys about even, or was one of you like more likely on the winning side than the other? Or?
We knocked him out of playoffs every year.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I'll just say that much.
I was curious too, like when you were picking colleges, how much of a factor was the fact that he was here in your decision? Did that have a factor at all, or is it just coincidental that you wound up here too? Or
Actually, when I got offered, he actually called me,
Mhm.
kind of told me about Clarkson a little bit and
yeah.
how it'd be great to have me here, and
Oh, yeah.
it actually influenced my decision a little bit.
That's curious too. It's interesting with goalies because unlike regular players, only one guy can play at a time. So like you have shifts and you can jump off the ice and go get your turn. So
Yeah.
how tough is that aspect of it if you're not playing regularly? Because obviously you want the team to do well, but if the other guy starts to stink a little, you might get to play. I mean, does it ever kind of put you in a tough position if you're not a starting goalie? And
If anything, it just adds a competition factor,
Yeah.
knowing that I played against him that long, and
yeah.
he's a good goalie, and he pushes me in practice, pushes me in games, and I
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like that's needed, especially in college here.
And usually, from what I've seen, if one of you guys has a big game, usually the first guy on the ice to congratulate him is like the other goalies on the team too. Like, do you feel like goalies in general can have like a special bond because you have such a unique position compared to like the other guys on the team? Or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. When
Yeah.
you're not playing, you got to be the biggest cheerleader out there.
Yeah. I was curious too. I know it's just kind of funny looking at this week's stats that you and Greg have almost exactly the same numbers. I don't know if you saw
Yeah.
that yourself, but is that?
I did not see that.
Yeah, I think you guys have like almost the same save percentage. You both given up 10 goals. I mean, it's almost identical.
Yeah.
Does that seem kind of strange at all, or does that seem like just a result of you guys are both, like I said, good goalies and had the same background kind of?
I like to think of it just us feeding off of each other,
Yeah.
being competitive against one another. So
Oh yeah. I guess the last thing I was asking was just how do you like the way things have gone for you personally so far at the start of the year? You've been happy getting the chance to play. Like, were you concerned at the start of the year that you might not get in right away, or were you pretty confident that you could have a chance to get into a rotation, or
I just kept working hard and just
Mhm.
wanted to make the most out of my opportunities, and
Yeah.
luckily I feel like I have so far. So just want to
Yeah, I was
build
always
off
wondering
that.
Yeah, I was wondering that too. Like when you see a school had like a freshman that played every game, whether you wonder, well, does that mean I'm going to be sitting for 3 years before I get to play? That kind of thing. That never crossed your mind at all, or
Well, like of course it does, but I mean at the end of the
Yeah.
day, you just got to work hard and make the most out of your opportunities.
I guess the last thing to ask you is just overall about this school. What do you like about just being part of the program and going to school here so far? What's kind of impressed you about the place, or
We have a great team this year,
Mm.
and I mean that really helps everything. Helps with the transition and everything, and
Yeah.
just fun getting on the ice every day.
All right, well,